Hi, I wanted to show you guys something that I've been working on recently. So while messing around with the Lego Technic shock absorbers, I noticed a few different problems. The first one being that the spring hardness can't really be adjusted and it's pretty weak actually. The next one is that there's these pinhole systems that do not provide for a lot of compatibility when you're trying to make your own suspension or things like that. The final one is the travel length. The travel length here is very minimal, as you can see, and I wanted to try and improve this. So the first thing I did was to adjust the spring hardness, and I swapped out this spring with my own custom design spring over here. As you can see, it's pretty hard for me to actually compress this spring, and there's some pretty easy videos online where you can take out this spring and then replace it with your own. Then I realized that I wanted to actually adjust the amount of movement in the spring and amount of compression that you can get. So I designed my own custom part spring, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, we get a lot of compression, and I also have my own custom spring inside, which is basically the shampoo pump spring, and that's what I've used inside, and this is what it looks like. So yeah. Another thing I wanted to show you guys is the difference between my custom shock absorber and the current Lego Technic shock absorber and their compression amount. So as you can see here, the Lego Technic shock absorber is roughly 6.5 studs in length, and when I compress it, we get to roughly 5.5 studs in length. So this is about 1 stud of compression. Now with my custom shock absorber, we have a length of roughly 5 studs, and then when I compress it, we get down to nearly 2.5 studs. So this is a lot more compression, and again, my shock absorber system is modular, so you can increase or decrease the amount of compression you get and then the overall length of the shock absorber as well. I wanted to show you guys the build process of my custom shock absorber. So as you can see here, we have 4 parts. The first one being the spring, which as I said before, we got from a shampoo pump. The next 3 parts are this cascading system for my custom shock absorber, and you can print more of these as you want a bigger length and more compression. So the first thing that we'll do is, as you can see, we can kind of flex this part, and we'll insert it into this part right over here, and you'll see this can move up and down quite nicely. And then we'll put in our spring right here. And now the spring will require a bit of compression based on the length, and we want to fit this in right here. And we're done. So now we have a working spring, and then accordingly you can attach these axle pieces from the standard Lego Technic parts if you want. So I took apart my old Lego Technic car, and I wanted to show you guys the suspension change that I made. So as you can see, this is the original spring, and then this is the spring that I installed. So right here is the change that you can see right here. So when I push down, you can see that we get a lot of travel and a lot of responsiveness, and my car overall is pretty heavy, but the spring does not bottom out, which is a really, really good thing. So I wanted to show that this can make a really big difference while you're changing the springs. So for those of you guys that are wondering, how will I find the perfect spring for my own custom shock absorbers and own custom suspension? Well, there's actually an equation in physics, I'll put it up right here, and that equation tells you the relationship between force, the spring constant, and the amount of compression that you want. So if you just plug your numbers into this equation, you can find the perfect spring constant, and the manufacturer should tell you what the spring constant is. I actually learned this in middle school when I took an honors physics course at a university, and it's been really, really helpful for these type of Technic creations, and all the other concepts that I've learned have also been really, really helpful in these type of creations. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something new in this video. And please let me know if you have any suggestions for this or anything you'd like me to add. The CAD for this is listed in the description. Thank you so much for watching.